Hey guys, so I just wanted to come on and actually tell you my full story because I don't think you've ever heard the whole thing. So when I was growing up, I was pretty privileged. I didn't have to worry about money. Everything I wanted, I had, and that lasted until I was about 8 years old. And I then asked my mom, I was like, well, why do you stay with dad if he makes you cry all the time? And my mom decided that was the time that she was going to get a divorce. So my parents split when I was 8 years old, and after that, it was just like life fell apart. I was always a loner in school. I had no friends. I was always the last one to be picked for whatever we were playing. It didn't matter what it was. Nobody wanted me on the team. So that was probably one of the hardest parts, was being the outcast. Like, I didn't fit in. I had nobody. So fast forward a little bit. I'm living with my mom. Dad went through his own life change, and living with mom, we were broke, we were poor, mom was going paycheck to paycheck. Anytime I'd asked for something, I was always told, no, we can't afford that. I remember grade 7 having 2 pairs of pants, and one pair of my pants were green corduroys, so it's not even like I could rotate them because somebody would be able to tell, Julie, didn't you just wear those pants 2 days ago? So they were pretty obvious, so I had to kind of strategize what I was wearing to make it not so obvious that I only had 2 pairs of pants. And that was my reality until high school, when I had experienced sexual abuse from my stepfather. And after telling, I ran away a lot. I did drugs. I was drinking. I was acting up in school. I was getting kicked out. I was doing a lot of bad things to just get kicked out. And so being 16, I think I just turned 16, or I wasn't quite 16. I finally told the truth, and instead of, okay, I believe you, I got told that I was a liar and I was to get out. So at 15, I was kicked out of my house, and I moved in with my best friend at the time. I stayed there for a few months, and then I moved into a group home in Milton, and then from there I was on my own. I was in my first apartment at 16 after I forged my age on a lease, and I said I was 18. So at 16 I had my own apartment. I was doing my own thing, and then Dad was back in a stable position, and back to my number one supporter and the person I could lean on the most. And at the same time that I was going through all of my stuff, Dad had also lost everything, because he had met a psycho woman who took him for everything that he had, plus some. So Dad ended up, he was living in a trailer. That's why I couldn't go live with him when I got kicked out. So at 16, I had the opportunity to work for Dad, so I started working for him. And Dad was always an entrepreneur. He always had to work for himself. He could never work for somebody else because, well, let's be real, he's just too pig-headed. So, sorry when I cry, my nose runs. So when I was going and seeing him more, and I couldn't stay there obviously because he was living in a trailer, I was like, well, what's next? What's next? It's like, I just keep going. And he always had a positive outlook. And it's something that I will never forget. Sorry, I try not to cry. You guys who know, we know that I do. Sorry, I don't want, snot dripping. real life warning. But he's just somebody that I can always look up to, because no matter how hard it got, he never gave up. And he's always been my inspiration. That is one emotional topic. Do we have any other daddy's girls here? So Dad being my number one supporter again, and always there for me no matter what. I had a job, and then I ended up getting pregnant at 17. This is really hard. I've never actually told my whole story. So I was pregnant at 17, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. The person I was with wanted me to get an abortion, and I said, no, I'm not. That's not me. So we'll make a plan. We'll make it work. My dad was there. When I had to do the telling of, everybody is like, oh, I'm so scared. I don't know the outcome. And Dad was who I was worried about the most of what he was going to say. And he's the only one that was actually like, just so happy. It was like nothing could bring him down. So that started. And then the person I was with just turned into an asshole. And then I had to leave. But I've always worked 3 jobs at least to just make ends meet, because everything's expensive, and I've never known what living past paycheck to paycheck was. I never knew what having extra money was, because there was never extra. It was always just barely enough, if enough. Sorry guys, I don't know why my nose runs so bad. I wish I could edit out sounds, but I'm so sorry I can't. So now I'm 17 and I'm pregnant, and the father of this baby is, are we going to stay together? What's going to happen? So we did for a little bit, and then I worked right up until I had Trin, and then I had her, and then things started to get bad, and we ended up breaking up when when Trin was a year old. And I tried to do the single mom thing, but then unfortunately I got into drugs really, really badly. And I ended up giving Trin up to her father. That was hard, so hard to feel like a failure. But it was in the best interest for her, so we always do what's best for our kids, even when we're not clear, right? I can't believe it's that long ago. So I had to move back in with my mom, and she's still with her husband. Because after I was kicked out, it was just denied that anything happened, and I had to pretend that it was okay and that nothing happened. And I did. For 15 years, I pretended that nothing happened. Until I finally got with a guy who cared and loved me, my now husband. And he told me to get help because I was not right in the head. It was pretty messed up. So he convinced me to go and talk to somebody, and I did. And I am so grateful that I did. So I just gotta say, if you are struggling at all with your mental health, don't feel like you're weak to ask for help. because it might be the thing that saves you. So after I did, I ended up writing a letter to my mom, to her husband, and also to my daughter, and just let them know everything that happened. And 15 years later, when he got the letter and he read it, he admitted everything to Mom. And now I'm just not this liar anymore. So that was hard. But what was harder, after being called a liar and having no trust for 15 years, was that she stayed. And she says that she is weak. You know, I get it. Whatever. People have to make their own decisions. You can't hate them for what they want and what they do. But, so that was 7 years ago now. And then she's still with him and pretends that everything is okay. And then the other day, not the other day, a couple months ago, I went live and I just told my story and said what happened, and nobody knew because it was all hush hush. And this is the problem, is that so many women who have struggled with sexual abuse are conditioned to hide it, to not talk about it, to pretend it didn't happen. And that is not okay. So for anybody that has been through anything like that, speak up. And if you want, I can tell your story and censor you out. But don't be a victim. Another topic for another day. I don't want to keep this too long. A lot's coming out, you guys. So now I am happily married. I've been with Sean for, it's been over 7 years now. We have 2 boys, and I feel physically happy and physically better. I still have my moments like we all do, but it's better. It's better. So now network marketing, where did this come into play? So I was with one opportunity that, it wasn't really my thing. It didn't jive with me. I wasn't passionate about it. So that was like, I kind of lost more money than I made. But now with Epicure is where I'm currently at, and I can't see myself going anywhere else because it's just something that resonates so much with me, and it's something I'm truly passionate about because I believe that everybody needs to eat good food, no matter what your income situation is. Because one of the other things, when I was in my early teens, I actually did sleep on the streets in Toronto. I'd pan money to get a bus ticket in, and then I would have no money because I'd borrow the money off of somebody that was in my group home, and then I'd be stranded there if I didn't pan enough money. So some nights I did have to spend in Toronto and ate out of a garbage can. And that is what I don't want for anybody. So my biggest thing is everybody deserves to eat good food. So to be able to have something where I can give back and where I'm teaching people that they can eat good food real fast, and that it's healthy and it's affordable and it can literally change your life, it just clicked. It was just like, I could let out my breath and be like, wow, I didn't have to pay all of that money to have my check. I didn't have to put all of this money into something to make my bonus. That those bonus checks and those commission checks are real because they're real customers and it's real products and it's awesome stuff. So not only that, but the sense of belonging, that I'm part of something, that whenever I post anything on social media, that, if I'm having a bad day, and I do post a lot about depression because even though I take pills and even though I talk to somebody and even though I'm medicated, I still have my moments where I feel like I'm trapped or I can't get out or whatever it is, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and it's heavy. So even though I do feel like that, over half of the people that reach out to me, that message me, that send me a message, call me, check in on me, over half of those are the people that I've met through Epicure. Are the people that I've connected with through our conferences, through our groups, through our trainings. And it's a place where I actually feel like I'm meant to be here. So, long story long. Sorry guys, I didn't want to keep this too, I wanted to condense it, but this is my first attempt. There's a lot of emotional shit that comes out. So please let me know what your thoughts are, because I could use some feedback. But the main thing that I want to say is it doesn't matter where you came from. It matters where you're going to. It doesn't matter how you felt in the past. It matters how you're going to make yourself feel. And it doesn't matter how broke you've been. It matters that you're going to provide for your family and that you have the opportunity to not live paycheck to paycheck. This is the hardest part for me because I've always lived paycheck to paycheck, or was told that we couldn't afford it, or we didn't have enough. I've never had extra. It's just a really crazy feeling to go from, waiting for that Friday, that second Friday. So can't wait to get groceries or whatever it is. Like, we gotta make this last diaper stretch because, we don't get paid for another 2 days. Like, you're gonna be shitting in your pants because we can't afford it. So it's crazy to go from that, or even going to the grocery store and your card not working because there's insufficient funds, to not worrying. I've never had to not worry. It's been such a crazy time. But this is something that I wish everybody could at least try and really dig into, because it can truly change your life. And that is not just saying it to say it. That is because I lived it. And that my life is changed because of it. That was a lot. So guys, what I'm asking of you is to just send me a message if this sounds like you, or sorry, maybe you want something better. Maybe you want to try something different. Maybe you want to get paid by doing something you do 3 times a day anyways, which is eat. Or get paid to get healthier. I can't tell you to do it, but what I will say is, what's stopping you? For the potential that it could change your life, why not give it a try? Feels so good to get that off my chest. So thanks guys. I'll talk to you soon.